morning to all of you. Seems quite a few of you are there. So let us start the class. But before starting the class, I would like to communicate a few messages to you. One is you please purchase a data pack of 3 GB. Okay? Please purchase a data pack of 3 per month. That is 3 GB per day for 1 month. Otherwise, your data pack will get exhausted in a day. You will not be able to attend all the classes. Next is in your YouTube, you will find in the top right corner, there is 3 dots. Click on those 3 dots and you will find something called quality. In those 3 dots, YouTube, right hand side, top corner, you will find 3 dots. You will find quality and reduce the quality. Reduce the quality as much as possible. That will decrease your GB usage. That will decrease your GB usage. Okay? So let us start. So I have sent you the PPT. Did you receive it? I have sent you the PPT. Did you receive it? Please say yes or no. Did you receive the PPT that I have sent it to you? Okay. Do you have it with you? Do you have it with you right now? Okay. Please refer to that PPT and I am going through that PPT for the class. Okay. The first slide is phases of project management. There are 3 phases, as you can see: planning, scheduling, and controlling. Planning means it is detailed staff recording. That is how many people at what level of people do you require to complete the project. That is staffing. Procurement of items. What raw materials do you require to have the project done? And project control. To control the project also, you need to plan prior. Now, before going further, I would like to tell you that the video lecture that we had shot in the class with 3 classes combined, please look into that. That class was very, very important. Please look into that. Without understanding that class, you will not be able to go ahead. So after this session is over, today itself in the evening, please go through that class. Okay? All right. So then planning requires plan for acquiring resources. So how to acquire resources that you need to plan, and planning continues for the entire life of the project. So it doesn't mean that once you have planned, you stop planning. It continues for the entire life of the project. Same thing goes for the network diagram also. The network diagram isn't that once you have drawn it, it's finished. You have to continue with the network diagram throughout the project life. So you have to keep on upgrading or changing the network diagram, the network scheduling as per requirement. Then comes scheduling, schedule development, schedule management. Schedule management means you have to manage the schedule. Then comes controlling, creating review project progress report. That is how you are progressing. That report needs to be reviewed. Reviewing the development in the project, how the project is getting developed. Then analyze the status of the project, that at each period of time, how the project is in, that which activity is on time, which activity is behind time, which activity is ahead of time. So these three things you need to analyze. These are called controlling. This is the first phase. First slide. Next is few terminologies needs to be understood. First terminology is an event. Event is a point in time. If you remember the network diagram we have drawn, there was a circle. The circle represented an event. Circle is a point in time. It is start of an activity or end of an activity. It does not consume any resource. It is start of an activity or end of an activity. It does not consume any resource. Like building a wall. Building a wall is an activity. The next one, activity, a task. The next one, activity. Building a wall is an activity. The wall is started to being built is an event. The wall has been built is an event. Did you understand the difference? Starting the activity, the wall has been started to being built is an event. Building the wall is an activity, and the wall is built is an event. Okay? An event is denoted by circle and activity is denoted by arrow. If you remember the network diagram that we have discussed in the class. Next is merge event. Merge event is that event where two or more activities comes and meets. Two or more activities comes and meets one event. Activities comes and meets one event. That is a merge event. And burst event is event from which activities bursts. Activities goes out. Two or more activities goes out. It is a burst event. Next is dummy activity. Dummy activity is a very, very important thing to understand in network analysis. Sometimes to draw the network analysis, you need to use dummy activity. What is a dummy activity? See this diagram. This diagram. In this diagram, A and B are two activities. Now suppose C's predecessor is both A and B. C's predecessor is both A and B. Then how will you draw? You cannot just draw like this, B then C. Or you cannot just combine these two and then draw C. Then you have to use this dummy activity, which is represented by dotted lines. This is called, okay? Common errors in network diagram. There are some errors that you will notice or you should avoid while drawing a network diagram. The first one is a loop. A loop means this kind of a thing. This kind of a thing is a loop. A starts from here, goes here. B starts from here, goes here. C starts from here, goes here. It continues like a loop. This loop is not allowed in a network diagram. Okay? Next is redundant activity. Redundant. Redundant means this kind of an activity where the starting point and ending point of two activities are same. That means that both the activities are same activity. It need not be separated. So you can just mention it as one activity only. So the other activity is redundant. Redundant means useless or extra. So redundant activity means an extra activity which you are drawing. You need not draw this activity. This can just be called A, which is a combination of A and B. Okay, these are the common errors in a network diagram. Then PERT. We have studied in the last class when we have interacted in the classroom that there are two methods, PERT and CPM. PERT is Project Evaluation Review Technique. Please note, PERT is Project Evaluation Review Technique. Now, in this analysis, What are the advantages? The expected time is determined. Expected time means, in part, if you remember, there were three time estimates: most optimistic time, most pessimistic time, and most likely time. So, with these three times, we got the estimated time, TE. So, PERT gives this advantage. It helps in completion of the project within an expected period of time. So, if the expected time is known, it is easier to complete within that expected time frame. Okay, it reduces the risk factor because project manager can deal with the fluctuations in time. Since we are dealing with three kinds of times, we are already fluctuating times. The project manager can deal with the fluctuations, which is not possible in critical path. We will see the limitations of critical path soon. In PERT, we can deal with fluctuations in time, but in critical path method, we cannot deal with fluctuations in time. Okay, detailed planning of activity is possible. It is understood. It helps in taking corrective actions for completion of the project on time. These are the advantages of PERT. Then comes disadvantage. In absence of past data, it is very difficult to provide the time estimates. See, if you don't have past records means suppose an activity consumes how much time in an optimistic manner, how much time in pessimistic manner. How will you identify that? That requires past data, past records of similar activities being conducted. If there is no past records available, how will you input that optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely time? If you have gone from your home to college for 10 to 12 days by bus, then you can estimate that how long it takes, more or less. But if you're going for the first time, you will not know that how much time it takes. So, past record is essential. There is no provision about the requirement of resources. At various stages, provision of resources is not provided. Frequent updates and revisions are required. There is a mistake in the slide. Frequent updates and revisions are required. It will not be revision, it will be required. Frequent updates are required in PERT because time estimates fluctuates. Fine. Next comes CPM, critical path method. Critical path method, what is the advantage? It helps in determining the time schedule of activities which are in sequence, in sequential order, all time schedule of an activity. It helps in controlling the project easily. The project controlling is easy because there is no fluctuation in time. The management only focuses on the critical activities. If you remember the diagram, again I am telling you, go back to the video lecture that we have had in the class. If you focus on that, you will see we were only concentrating on the critical activities. If you are following the critical activities will be very important activities, because only those activities, if we reduce, we will have the project to be crashed, to be reduced. Otherwise, the project cannot be reduced if we want to reduce the non-critical activities. So these are the importance of critical path method. Limitations. It assumes that each activity takes exact known time. This is a limitation. This is, as I told you in PERT. In PERT, there were three time estimates, but in critical path method, there's only one time estimate. So any fluctuation in time estimate means you are not using critical path method properly. It is not getting used properly because critical path will not be determined properly. Any statistical analysis is not used, and any change in the network will change the whole structure. Any change in the network, suppose this is my network, this is my network. Now any change, suppose B from here comes here and C from here comes here, then this small change, one activity just replacing the other activity, can change the whole network path. And the whole network path changes means the critical path may change. And if the critical path changes, the whole planning of the activity changes. So this is the limitation of critical path method. Yes. we take this class up to this much. Any questions from anyone? Did you understand the whole thing? Go through the slides once more. And I request all of you to go through the video lecture very carefully. That is very, very important. Okay? Now, I am telling you, I am sending you a WhatsApp. In that WhatsApp, I am sending you an assignment. The assignment you need to finish at home. And during this class session, you will also have to give an IMCRP test. The test code ends with 6213. The test code ends with 6213. 6213, I repeat. 202006213 is your test code. Can someone please write down? Can someone please message me 6213? Then I will understand you have received it. Yes, 6213, right. So this test code you will complete during my class slot. During my class slot. Those who have given it before my class slot, please don't do that from the next day. From the next day onwards, during my class slot only you will give the test. You will not give the test before my class slot or after my class slot. Assignments can be done before or later, but not the tests, because this is going to be demarcated as your attendance. Okay? Thank you, class. Thank you very much. Animesh Singh Mahapatra says, so will I get the attendance? Yes, you will get the attendance provided you give the class test. Or if you have given the class test already, it's fine. I will adjust it manually. But from next day onwards, please give the class test during your class slot. Don't give the class test earlier or later. Thank you. Bye-bye.